Okay, so I have shared my whiteboard. Let's talk about standard deviation first, okay? And then you'll see what variation is. So forget about what we studied yesterday. Everything was correct, but I wanted to talk about it because this is very important. And I felt like you guys were not able to understand it properly. Okay. Now, when we talk about mean, when we discussed mean, median, and mode, I told you we did for different cases. We talked about raw data, single value table, then the range table. So since we are discussing things this way in statistics, so for standard deviation as well, let's talk about all the cases, okay? So let's talk about the first one where you have raw data. Now, raw data means some random X values. So let's say we have 1, 2, 2, 3, 5, and 8. Okay, this is your X. All of these values are X values. This is X1, X2, X3, X4, and so on. Okay, this is your raw data. What is your task? Your task is to find standard deviation. So in the very beginning, I would like to state the formula for standard deviation. Okay, it would be different because yesterday we were talking about variation and I said that we'll take the under root then, okay? But today I'll talk about standard deviation directly. So the standard deviation is under the root of variation, and that was summation x squared over n minus x bar squared. Okay, this is the formula. Okay, since this is standard deviation, so you guys might find it a bit different because yesterday I did not use under root because yesterday I was talking about variation. So first we'll talk about standard deviation and then we'll calculate variation. Now this is the formula. You have everything right in front of you. It's very obvious that it can be done easily. Okay, what do we need? We need x squared and we need the mean. Okay, so let's talk about x squared first. So that would be 1, 4, 4, 9, 5 squared 25, 8 squared 64. For x squared, I've squared all the 1, 2, 2, 3, 5, 8. Okay, and now I need to add them and divide it by n. So this is for you guys. You need to do just find the value of summation x squared divided by n and find the mean. Okay, I'll be waiting 1 minute for you, for both of you. Just do this working and just type the answer in the chat box, or maybe you could just tell me directly. Yes, Munja and Ashal, what are you guys
Right.
getting?
The summation of x squared over n It's 107/6, which
Very
gives us
good.
about
Yes, it
20 over
is
83.
107/6. And what does it
Yeah,
mean?
21/7.
21/6. It should be 21/6. Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6 values. If this is
Oh, yes,
6,
sir. Sorry.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
okay. 21/6. Very good. Okay, excellent. And now we need to apply the formula directly. So for standard deviation, we are doing under the root 107/6 minus this would be 3.5 squared. And once you simplify it, you are going to get 2. Okay, I got a message from Ashal. Okay, Shal, I'll explain that again. Just give me 1 second. 2.3629. Okay. Ishal, this is the formula for standard deviation. Okay. We need this thing and this thing. So first, what is the formula? It says summation x squared over n. We need x squared and we need to sum them up. Summation means summing all of x squared. Okay. So 1 plus 4 plus 4 plus 9 plus 25 plus 64. What is n? N is the number of terms 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this is x. How do we find mean? That is very simple. I'll add them 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 8 and I'll divide that by 6. Okay. Once I get these two, I'll plug in the formula. So this was here. This is the term. It is 107/6 minus mean squared, and mean was 3.5 squared. 21/6 is 3.5. And the answer what standard deviation would be 2.3629. Yes. Do you get it now? Yes, Ishal, is that okay? Okay, perfect. Now the next thing is variance. So I've been telling you variance is the square of standard deviation. Okay. Just try making some hint or a word for yourself, because I've seen students mixing this up. I don't know why, but just know that since standard deviation has this under root with it, the variance would be the square of standard deviation. Okay, variance is a bigger number, so it would be square. It could be, like at times when we're taking the square of decimal numbers, it gets smaller, but for understanding just two, variance would be the square of standard deviation, and it would be the square of 2.3629, and that would be 5.5833. Do not worry about the number of decimal places. We're not doing past paper questions at the moment. We're just practicing. So this is the idea. Okay. Any doubts with this first question? This is how we do for raw data. Okay. So if you have raw data like this, does not have frequency and stuff like that, you just need one extra row or column where you need to write down the values of x squared. Then you need to write down summation x squared and then divide that by n. And then you need summation x by n because this is your mean. Okay, perfect. Munya, are you okay with this?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. So this is the formula used for raw data. At the end, I'll write down all the formulas. I'm doing it from scratch because I know the importance of this thing. And it's very easy. S1 is honestly speaking very, very easy. So do not worry about it at all. S2 is comparatively difficult. Obviously, it should be. But what I studied in my bachelor's, I find those things in S2. So that is actually, I would suggest you guys to take M1 in with A2, because I've seen students taking M1 with AS and S1 with A2, and this is what I did as well. I took M1 and then S1, but I personally think S1 is easier than mechanics, especially for those students who are taking business accounting. Okay. Anyways, the difficulty level does not matter. The preparation matters. Okay, so it says Now again, we'll talk about the standard deviation and variation, but this time around it is going to be for a single value table. Okay. Now I'll make a table quickly. We'll be having when I say single value, it means we'll be having one value of X only. It won't be a range. And this is how the table looks like initially. So it has X and it has frequency. So 1 is coming 7 times, 2 is coming 7 times, 3 is coming 6 times, 4 is coming 9 times, 5 is coming 11 times, 6 is coming 10 times. Yep, that is it. Okay. Assalamu alaikum, Zahib. I hope you're good. Okay. So Zahib, we're talking about standard deviation. Okay. And this is the second case. It is very important. So you can just start from now. Standard deviation is just a value that would help us find the measure of spread of data, right? This would tell you if your data has deviation, if it has variance, if the values are together, if they are consistent, if they are very different, stuff like that. Okay, so it's basically one of the measures of spread of the data. So standard deviation and variance are very, very close. Like you square standard deviation to get variance. We'll come to that. But for now, we're talking about the case 2 when your data is given in a single value and you've been asked to find the standard deviation. Okay. So first of all, I am going to write down the formula. Let's write down the formula here. Now this is for the table 1. So it would be different. The previous formula was different. This formula would be different. And it is going to be under the root summation fx squared over summation f minus x bar squared. Okay. Now you guys should know how to find mean in that case. So let's write down the mean formula here. Okay. This is the formula for standard deviation. Now, what do we see? We have under the root. Okay. We have been saying under the root with standard deviation already. The first fraction is summation fx squared divided by summation f. And the second one is summation fx divided by summation f. What is the second fraction? This is x bar. This is mean. This is how we find mean in case of tables. We have discussed this already. Okay. Now, what extra things do I need? I need a column for x squared and I need a column for f into x squared. Okay. So we need 3 more columns basically. So let's make 3 more columns then. Okay. First of all, let's talk about x squared. So x squared is going to be 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16, 5 squared is 25, and 6 squared is 36. Step 1 was to write down the x squared. All right. What would be the next thing? Can anyone tell me what else is needed? Yes, Ashal and Munja. Why did I make two more rows?
Do we need
Yes, say it again.
frequency terms?
Sorry, I was not
Another
able.
one. I think we need frequency.
Yes, we need the.
F multiplied by x.
Yes, very good. Okay. So we need
Yeah.
fx and we need fx squared. Okay. So this would be f into x. Let's do that first. So 1 into 7 is 7. 2 into 7 is 14. 3 into 6 is 18. 4 into 9 is 36. 5 into 11 is 55. And 6 into 10 is 60. And when I say fx squared, so please fill this column, and once you are done, I would ask you guys, okay? Just fill in this column and then I'll ask you.
Okay. 7, 28, 10, 6. So f times x squared.
Yes.
So 7 times 1, 7 times 4, 9 times 6,
Wait.
16 times 9. Sorry.
1 into 1 is 7. 1 into just 1. Yeah. Wait a second. Yes, Sahib, that is correct. Very good. Okay. So we are doing 7 into 7. Yes, Munja, now you can tell me it's 7 and then 7 into 4. That would be
28. 28.
28. And then 6 into 9.
That's
54.
54.
Yes, and then 9 into 16.
144. Yeah.
11 to 25.
275.
And then 10 into 36 would be
360.
360. Okay, just wait a second. I need to check the answers. Yes. Okay, Zahib, good. And Nishal, yes, I got 2, but yeah, I'm sure you would be able to do them. Okay. Very good, Munja. Excellent. Okay. You need to be careful while multiplying the numbers. Okay, just make sure that we are dealing with the correct rows. Okay, now we are done with everything that we had to use for this formula. Now we need to just plug in the values. Okay, so standard deviation is under the root summation fx squared. Let's sum these values up. Just do summation fx squared, tell me the value, and then summation fx.
Summation of fx is 190.
Yes, very good. This is 190. And summation fx squared would be 868. Okay.
868. Yeah.
Very good. Perfect. Okay. Now, what do we need? We need summation f. Yes, we also need to find that. So what is summation f?
Seven plus 7, that is 14, plus 6, 20, 29. 29 plus 11, that's 40, 50.
Yes, that is correct. And what about Zahib and Ishal? Are you guys getting the same values?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, so this is going to be 50. Very good. Okay. Now we need to plug in the values. It would be summation fx squared divided by summation f minus summation fx divided by summation f bracket close whole squared. So this is going to be under the root. Summation fx squared was 868 divided by 50 minus summation fx was 190 divided by 50 whole square. So if once you are done with the simplification, you are going to get 1.7088 or 1.709. And this is your standard deviation. So what would be the variance? Yes, Sashal, very good. What would be your variance?
Square them.
Yeah, it would be standard deviation square. So just square this value and tell me the answer for variance.
The median is the square of the standard derivation.
No, the variance. The variance is the square of the standard deviation, okay?
Oh,
2.921.
Do it again. It would be 2.920.
1 or 0.
Yes, very good, Shal. Okay. So this is going to be, there's something wrong with my pen. So variance is going to be standard deviation square. So it would be 1.709 square, and that is going to be 2.920. 2.920 or 1, that is that depends. Okay, this is what I was getting when I was doing it. All right. Okay, so what is the idea? The idea is that the basic formula for standard deviation is same. Okay, yes, if you will have a table, obviously we'll be dealing with frequencies. First, never ever try doing it directly. Always update your table and then try doing it. It would make things very, very easy for you. So just note this formula down with the heading that it is for single value. It is used with single value table. When I say single value table, I mean X is, you just have X. Okay. In some questions, you have range for X as well. But for these questions, you would just be having X directly. All right. So this is the single value table. Any doubts with this, Sahib, Munja, and Ishal?
no, ma'am.
Okay. And what about you, Munya and Ishal?
I'm okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Then let's talk about the last one. Okay. Very good, Ishal. I'll clear the screen. Okay. Now we need to talk about if you have the range table. If range is given, how are we going to do things then? You'll see that the number of lines are increasing because the number of steps would be more in this case. Okay, but let's talk about the question initially, okay? So you would have this thing. This is X and this is the frequency. So F would be in form of range. 0 is less than equal to T less than 5. This is 11. Then 5 is less than equal to T less than 10. This is 20. 10 less than equal to T less than 20. Then we have 20 less than equal to T less than 40. Okay. So this is coming 32 times and this is coming 18 times. Let's stick to these 4 ranges for this question. Okay. Now this is the question. This is what you have initially. You have the ranges for x. You know that 11 values of x are lying between 0 and 5. 20 values of x are lying between 5 and 20. 32 values of x are lying between 10 and 20 because this is your frequency. And again, the question is to find the standard deviation, and the formula for standard deviation in this case and the previous case would be the same, because again, this is a table as well. Okay. So let's start our working by writing down the formula, because that would help you understand what things we need. So standard deviation is going to be under the root summation f x squared divided by summation f minus summation fx divided by summation f whole square. This mean would be squared. Okay, this is the previous formula, the formula which we discussed a few minutes back. Okay, so the first thing is that what is x? I have a range for x. I do not have one x value. So would I be multiplying all the values with 11, or how should I do it? So what do we do for range questions? We have discussed these earlier as well. What is our go-to trick? Like, how do we, get rid of this range?
Do we have to find the class boundary?
Okay, very good. Best we do that for making histograms. Okay, we do that for making cumulative frequency curves and for histograms, but not for this. Okay, it's good that you're trying. So basically, since for mean, median, and mode, we did talk about the range tables as well. And there I told you, until and unless the wording says median class or the wording says model class, the examiner does not want a range. Okay. So
Okay.
for median, we discussed how to do it. We just made the cumulative frequency curve, and there we just, use the lines, and we were able to do it for upper quartile and lower quartile as well. You know how to make the cumulative frequency curve for these cases, right? This is very
Yes,
easy.
ma'am.
We just make it against the upper class boundary and the cumulative frequency. Forget about that. That's an old discussion. At the moment, I would like to help you with a quick revision. For finding out mean and for finding out standard deviation for range questions, we go with the middle value of the range. Okay. So x would be represented by the middle value.
Okay.
This would be the value. Okay. So what would be the middle value of 0 and 5? You do 0 plus 5 by 2. So it would be 2.5. So it would be 2.5. Then this would be 7.5. Then this is going to be 15. And this is going to be 30. How did I get these values? By finding the average of the upper and lower class boundaries. Okay, and this time around these are the class boundaries, because 5 and 5, 10 and 10, 20 and 20, these numbers are same. Okay, at least for these four. It could be that they get different if I talk about all the values, but yeah, the idea is 0 plus 5 by 2 is 2.5, 5 plus 10 by 2 is 7.5, 10 plus 20 by 2 is 15, and then 20 plus 40 by 2 is 30. The middle value of the two upper and lower limits. Okay, this is how I find middle x. Okay, but for this I need x squared as well. Okay, so for finding x squared, we'll be squaring these middle values. So what would be the square of 2.5? It would be 6.25. For 7.5, it would be 56.25. For 15, it would be 225. And for 30, it is going to be, 1 second only, there's some problem. Okay, it's okay. Yeah, so it would be 900. Okay. All right. Once done with x squared, what is the next working? We need to find fx and we need to find fx squared. Okay, so I'll be quick. Fx. We need to multiply f with x. Frequency is 11 and the x is 2.5. So 11 into 2.5, 11 into 2.5 would give you 27.5. Very good. 20 into 7.5 would give you 150. Then it would be 480. And then again it is 18 into 30. And that would be 540. Very good. Okay. And then last one is fx squared. So I'll be multiplying the fourth row with the first row. So it would be 11 into 6.25. That would be 68.75. Then it would be 1125. Then 7200. And then the last one would be 18 into 900. And that would be 16200, 16,200. All right. Okay. This is going to be your fx squared. Now we are almost done. We just need summation fx squared and summation f and summation fx. Yes, I would want you guys to answer this. Summation fx squared, summation fx, and summation f. This is going to be 24,593.75. Forget about it. We can write it down as 4. Okay. What is summation fx?
One four four five. Oh, sorry. Did I? Oh, no.
It should be 1197.5.
1.5. That's 150. That's 480.
It would be 27.5 plus 150 plus 480 plus 540, and that would be 1197.5. Ishal and Zahib, are you guys getting the same values? Please confirm that.
Yes, ma'am. 1
Okay. And what
1197.5.
Yes. Yes. What would be summation f? Okay, Ishal.
81.
Very good. Perfect. Okay. Now we have all the values and we are very close to the answer. So standard deviation is going to be under the root all right, summation fx squared was 24594 divided by 81 minus 1198 divided by 81 squared. Just simplify this and tell me the value for standard deviation. Zahib, are you there? I'm getting the same values. The standard deviation is 9. Okay. All right, Ishal. Very good. Excellent. Yes, Munja, just check what is the standard deviation coming.
Okay.
Yes, Ashal, your answer is correct. Very good. Zahib, are you there? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Zahib. This was you. Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, your answer is correct, Zahib. Very good. Excellent. Okay.
8 point in almost 9.
Yeah, okay. Munjay, are you doing it on calculator? I'll tell you how to do it, okay? Just press the under root button and just, plug in the fractions directly. Because I do understand there are times just because pressing a wrong button, we end up getting a different answer. Just insert fraction and then plug in 24594, then 81, then 1198 divide by 81 and then square. Okay, just put every value on the calculator first and then press equal to sign and you would get 9.213, something of this type.
Okay.
Ishal, are you getting the same value as well? Okay, and once we are done with the standard deviation, please find the variance, Ishal. Okay, all right, very good, Ishal. So how do we find the variance? We are finding variance by doing standard deviation square. So it would be 9.213 squared, and this is going to be, just use your calculator and do answer squared, and this would give you 84.88. Very good, Ishal. Excellent. Okay. Yes, Munja, any doubts with this? Any confusions? Anything that you were not able to understand?
I'm okay, ma'am.
Okay. Then let's quickly talk about one last thing for today. That is the same calculations, but this time around you would not be having F, you would be having probability. So let's see how things change for that. The change would be very small. This would just be a replacement of something with something. Okay, let's write down the question first. So this time around, you would have X, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the other thing would not be frequency, it would be the probability. Okay. So probability of getting 0 is 0.1. Probability of getting 1 is 0.1. Probability of getting 2 is K. Probability of getting 3 is 0.3 and probability of getting 4 is 0.2. Okay, now I'm pretty sure you all know what probability is because we study probability in O-level maths as well. Okay, probability is just a chance of getting something. So the chance of getting 0 is 0.1, the chance of getting 1 is 0.1, chance of getting 2 is K, chance of getting 3 is 0.3, chance of getting 4 is 0.2. The most important thing is, which I would want you guys to know, that is the most important property in case of probability, that sum of all the probabilities is what?
1.
1. Very good. Okay, so can you guys find the value of K now? We know sum of probabilities is 1, so what would be K?
Okay.
K would be 0.3. Yes, Sahib, very well done. Excellent. Okay, now how is the calculation going to change in this case? Okay, all right. So basically, for these questions, we need the expected value. Okay, expected value of x and expected value of standard deviation. I'll write down the formula quickly, which would be used here. Expected value of x squared minus the expected value of x, and this would be squared. Okay, now please pay attention. The formula for standard deviation in this case is under the root expected value of x squared minus expected value of x squared. Now, what exactly is expected value? Expected value is nothing. For finding expected value for any variable, what do? We are just multiplying x with px, okay, just like frequencies. So we need xpx and we would need x squared into px. Okay, so okay, I'll tell you, do not worry. Expected value for any variable, let's say if we are interested in finding out the expected value of x, how do we do it? We need to find the sum of x into probability of x. Okay, and when I will say expected value of x squared, the only difference would come in x. It would be x squared and then probability of x. All right, so this is going to be the formula. So how do we do it? First, we need to find x squared for this. So it would be 0, 1, 4, 9, and 16. Okay. Now x into probability of x, this would be 0, this would be 0.1, then this would be 0.6, then this would be 0.9, and then this would be 0.8. All right. And then x squared into px. So you'll be multiplying 0 with 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. Now 4 into 0.3. That would give you 1.2. 9 into 0.3. That would give you 2.7. And then this would give you 3.2. Okay. Now please pay attention. We are interested in finding out this thing. Okay. Or this thing. And even if you are not able to understand it this way, forget about this. Forget about this. I'll write down the formula directly. That would be a long formula, but it would make sense to you guys. So it is going to be the summation x squared px minus summation xpx squared divided by summation px divided by summation px. All right. Now, what do you see? The only difference is, as I was telling you already, is that instead of f, we are writing down probability of x. That is it. Okay. We used to have f here, but now we have probability of x. We used to have f here, but now we have probability of x. F here, but now we have probability of x. But this time around, summation p of x is not needed because that is 1 always. Okay. This would be 1. That is why we were, since this is expected value of x and since this is expected value of x squared, that is why the formula which I was writing was under the root expected value of x squared minus the square of expected value of x. All right. Anyways, we need xpx, the sum of this. What would be the sum? Please tell me. That would be 2.4. And what would be sum of x squared px? It would be 7.2. Okay. Once we have both of them, we need to write down it directly. Standard deviation is under the root, and this is going to be this value, that is this one. summation x squared px minus summation x px. We don't need to write this down because that would be 1. And this is going to be under the root 7.2 minus 2.4. And the standard deviation is going to be 1.2. So it would be 1.2. And the variance is standard deviation squared. So it would be approximately 1. It would be 1.44. All right. Okay. Now, please pay attention. I would like to sum it up quickly. If you were not able to understand expected value, forget about it. Okay. I'll be explaining that in detail again. For now, just know this is the formula. This is the formula. And it's just like the frequency formula. The only difference is that instead of f, we have probability of x everywhere. Okay. We did not find the sum of probability of x because that is a property. It is always 1. Every other thing is same. We had to find x squared. We had to multiply x squared with px, x with px. We had to find their sum. Everything is same. You're only replacing f with p of x, and that is how you find the standard deviation and variance in case of probability table. Yes, is that okay, Zahib, Mundia, and Ashal?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
Okay. And what about you, Ashal? Okay, perfect. So I'll stop the recording and then I'll see you tomorrow. Please do the homework